anxiety has controlled my life. That's what today's video is going to be about. Today I'm going to be explaining just how controlling anxiety has been throughout my life from when I was really young to now. I want to just explain it a little bit and hopefully I can help anyone who is also experiencing this in their life, and yeah. So let's get anxiety actually start happening for me. Anxiety started happening for me when I was really young. I can't pinpoint the day or the time it started happening, but I do remember one day walking into a classroom. I was running late for school, so I was dropped off 20 minutes late or something, and everyone had already gotten into their seats, who they're sitting next to, blah 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 blah. But I had no seat. So I walked in, I gave my teacher the slip thing you get back then, and there was no chairs on the outside or at the back or at the front. The only chair that was left was right in the center of the classroom. Now, for someone with anxiety, that's a really big trigger, is when you have to socialize with a big group of people. And I knew I wouldn't have to talk to anyone, but I did have to somehow get my chair and move it to the center of the room and walk past 6 people or so. It doesn't seem that hard. But for me, it was just way too much. I grabbed my chair, I went up to the row that I had to sit in, and I asked the person, could they please move in, because it was like this and I had to fit a chair down the middle. They didn't respond. Don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they just didn't hear what I said. I don't know if I was loud enough. I don't know. But that got my heart pumping and I could feel it. It was going boom, 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 boom. And I just turned around. Simple as that. I just turned around and walked out. Yeah, I just walked out of the classroom. At that point, my eyes started tearing up. I lost a breath. I couldn't be there at that point in time. And this must have been grade either 5 or 6. So it was one of them. So I was very young to start experiencing this feeling. It was really hard for a young person to experience so much. I had lost a breath. I couldn't breathe. I need to get a huge drink of water. And after I sat down for a little while, I went to, we call it here sick bay, but it's like when you're sick or whatever. I went and I just had to lay down. The encounter of anxiety was just randomly going to the shops with my mum, my friends, my family, whoever. So hard to explain to people. All I did was go to the shops, and when you see a big crowd of people, your mind just thinks, no, I cannot do that. I cannot go there. They will look at me, they'll judge me, they'll say something to me. I don't want to talk to them. How can you explain that? Having anxiety is like you're in a bubble and everyone else outside of that bubble is breathing, and they're breathing fine, they're laughing, they're having fun, they're playing, they're living life. But you're trapped in this little bubble and you're stuck. You can't think, you can't breathe. Your brain doesn't want to say yes. You're just stuck. Anxiety also happened at school. Get up, I'd get ready, as you do. And when I got dropped off to school, I just couldn't do it. I could not walk into that school. I could not walk past people that I know. I couldn't walk past my friends. I thought ahead about where I'd be sitting at lunch, who I'd be sitting with, what would I be doing, what would I be eating, what would I be saying. I'd think of conversations before they were even going to happen, because I didn't want to be in that situation where I didn't know what was going on, or my mind playing tricks on me or something like that, which is to other people really strange. You know, just having conversations already lined up, ready to go. I went to the same school from kindergarten to grade 10. Grade 10, I moved schools. This was a really hard time for me. At the same time, it was really good. With someone with anxiety and moving schools to a new place you don't know where you're going, you don't know who you're going to hang out with, you don't know how other people, how they're going to act, you don't know what they're going to say, you don't know what they're thinking about you, you just don't know. And that was hard, I admit. I didn't know where to go for the first day. Sorry, someone was looking at me out my window, and anxiety of a new school, grade 10. I walked, you got given a piece of paper, which is no help, there was no map, and it just said, blah blah blah, meet at C block, 9 o'clock. So I couldn't ask anyone where it was because I was scared. I couldn't go to the office and ask. I don't know why, that seems like the most logical answer, but my brain wouldn't let me and my body wouldn't move in that direction, so that didn't happen. So I was stuck once again, stuck by myself, trying to find where I needed to be. I started walking, and I was walking for a very long time. Good thing I got there early. And I finally found the classroom. And everyone was already sitting down, which was really strange because, I don't know, the bell hadn't gone, it wasn't 9 o'clock, and everyone was already sitting in the classroom. So I thought, okay, well, I must be late. So I walked in and I sat down. Minutes in, I realised everyone was looking at me, absolutely everyone. It could have been because I was new, it could have been, I don't know, but I knew everybody was looking at me. And that got me really scared. I remember my heart was pumping so fast that my breath sounded like and yeah, that was the first day I experienced a panic attack. So I hopped out of my chair and I left. My first day of school, hopped up and I left. And I went home. My first day of school and I went home. A few weeks into this school, I made some friends. I didn't speak to them first. They approached me, which was really nice. So I made lots of new friends, found out where all my classrooms were, I knew where I was going, I knew what my schedule was. I was on track, I was good, my mindset was okay. And then it wasn't. I started getting scared at knowing what classroom I was going to. I knew where I was going, I knew who I was going to be with, I knew who I was going to sit next to. I knew what I was doing in that class, but I just couldn't get there. Just so hard to explain the feeling of anxiety and being that scared of something that is completely fine and normal for everybody else. The stage where I didn't go to my English class. I knew where it was and I'd been going for months, but I just couldn't go. So sorry, but I can't explain how much it impacted me. The point where teachers and principal and blah blah approached me and asked, why am I not going to English? And I simply said, I don't know. I mentioned, by the way, I didn't actually, at this point in time, I didn't know what anxiety was. So I didn't know I had a problem. So at this stage, it was so weird for me why I couldn't go to a classroom, why I couldn't go sit with my friends at lunch, couldn't do anything that other people do. They approached me, I explained to them, and they set me up with a counsellor to help explain it a little bit. He started to explain what was going on with me. I understood and it made sense to the point where I started skipping those sessions because I didn't want to accept something that was different about me that some other people did not have. And at this point, I didn't know that other people might have it. My school years, I was learning more about myself. I was learning more about anxiety, what it was, what type of mental health it was. After that, started getting really low. My anxiety kept me inside, I couldn't leave. And it finally got to the point where I was on school holidays and I couldn't leave the house. I didn't leave my bed, I didn't hop up, I didn't eat. I just laid there. School started up again and I told my mum no. Explaining it is I was in that much fear of going to school that I couldn't. And that's scary. Out of school at term 1 of grade 11. I finished term 1, I got A's and everything, so that was not the problem. The problem was I couldn't get this feeling out of my head. I couldn't escape it. I couldn't run away. I couldn't just put it aside and move on. I just couldn't. So I dropped out. My mum made me get a job, which was awesome. I think that helped me with my anxiety a little bit, but it's just something I can't escape. At this point, I think I was about 14, 15. I was 14 or 15, out of school, working. I was doing with my life. So when I was 19 years old, I didn't work for a year. In that year, I didn't leave the house. I slept all day and woke up at 6 p.m. and stayed up all night. It affected me, it affected my family, it affected my boyfriend, it affected my eating habits, it affected my health. I knew what I was doing was hurting people around me, but I, at that point, didn't care, which is horrible, but I didn't. I just wanted to be isolated in my room by myself, where the world couldn't hear me or judge me or tell me I was doing something wrong or tell me I looked weird or just things that actually have never happened. I just think that. End of last year, I went to Japan and I told myself, no, I don't want to live like this. So I got a job, I got a car, I've moved out of home. I currently live in my own apartment with my boyfriend and it's going great. Problem is that this anxiety has still stuck around. I'm now currently 20 years old. 20 years old and I'm still trapped. I'm better, yes, I have got a full-time job. I go every day. Mornings I sit in the car and I cry, which is fine. I really motivate myself to get out of that car and go to work and not give up and turn around and come home and hide under a blanket from the world, because that's not going to help you. It may seem at the time, it may seem like the best thing is to stay home, stay isolated. It's not. You need to get out, you need to socialize, you need to keep interacting, and that will help your anxiety lower it. At work I've made friends. I enjoy my work. When I'm at work, I don't feel my anxiety anymore, and that's really an improvement that I'm very proud of. I'm happy to share that with you. Going from a really dark time in my life to I'm getting better. That's amazing for me to say out loud. I've never actually said any of this out loud, but here it is for you guys to see and watch and listen and think, yeah, I want to change my life too. Still struggle at the gym. I can't go by myself. There's lots of people there. I will go on one machine, but that's still okay. I'm still going. I'm still telling myself, no, you do need to go. No, you do need to do that. You need to get past this. You need to beat your anxiety. You can't let it control you. You have to control it. So if it's going to be there, you need to be in control. And I think I'm starting to get that after so many years of thinking that it's in control. What anxiety wants, but no, I need to do what I want and I need for my health. Strange, because I still ring up and I'll order takeaway, and when I get to that takeaway shop, I will melt down. I will cry. I will say, no, I don't want it anymore. I'm not going in there. I'll make my boyfriend go get it, or I'll just turn around and go home. And that's, so I still get episodes like that and times where I don't think I'm going to beat my anxiety, but I'm definitely improving, and that's really important. I think I've explained some of it. I might do another video explaining more in depth of what anxiety is, how it really does affect others around you, and how you can overcome it. So tips and blah 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 blah. I realize I've done this whole entire video and I haven't even introduced myself. Hi, my name is Sammy. I'm 20 years old. I live in Australia and I have anxiety. I'm on a self-love journey. YouTube is going to be just giving you guys advice while I build confidence to do other things. Why am I doing YouTube? I work full-time. On weekends, I've got nothing to do. That's kind of it. I live near the beach, but right now it's winter. And I really don't want to keep all this bottled up inside. I want to share it. I want to see if other people experience it. I want to see if I can help people. And that's pretty much why I want to do YouTube. is to help people. For the bad camera quality and the audio quality and all that jazz. Obviously this is my first video for now, and that will all get fixed. I want to thank you guys just so much for listening to my story and letting me explain to you guys how anxiety really affected my life. And I hope you don't let it keep affecting yours. I hope you say, no, I want to change. I want to be in control of myself, and I don't want anxiety to rule me anymore. If you guys want to do that, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, give it a comment in the comment section about what you want me to talk about. I'm happy to talk about whatever. I'm happy to open up to you guys. I'm happy to share my stories, my feelings, what I've overcome or what I still have. Yeah, I just want to help you. Thank you so much for listening, and I really appreciate it. Bye guys.